What was your first job?
I was a cashier at Office Depot in high school.
What is something that you've learned in the last week?
Listening to a podcast and learned that Lee Harvey Oswald was employed by the CIA prior to the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
What is your favorite part of the day?
Right now, my favorite part of the day is the morning right before I get out of bed. Because most days I'm awakened by my 2.5-year-old who still sleeps in a crib, talking to her 8-year-old brother about how she'd like his help or how he should go and get one of their parents, me or my wife, to get her out of bed. And just listening to the two of them talk in the morning when they're rested and not tired of each other, when they're not fighting. It's just, it's a delight.
What is one thing that you can do that no one else can do?
So I'll need to adjust my camera for this. So before the Zoom era, this was something that commonly freaked my students out. I have a hyper-extensive joint. So what I knew this meant was that my left shoulder can pop out of its socket very easily, which means I can't bench press at all. But what I can do is sort of bend my elbow backwards here. And the thing is, like, I never knew this was not just a usual thing that people can do. And so I'd be in the classroom and I'd come in and lean on a student's desk with my elbow that way, like my first year of teaching. And every time I did it, a student would go, "Ah!" Like, what happened? And so that's how, I don't know. I don't know if no one else can do it, but it's rare. And it freaks my students out the first time they see it.
If you could master any language, what would it be?
Oh, English.
And what chore do you absolutely hate doing?
Anything with finances, anything mathematical. I'll do a physical cleaning task, just throw myself into it, really give myself over to the experience. But if I have to start dealing with numbers, I just break down.
What do you get every time you order groceries?
Well, I've got a 2.5-year-old, so right now it's 2.5 gallons or two gallons of milk every time I order groceries. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can think of. All I can think of is milk.
What is your fondest memory of high school?
All right, bad influence time. My apologies to any other adults who see this video or hear about it. But during my senior year of high school, I earned a leadership position on our student council, and I was a committee chair, and I assigned all of my friends to my committee, and very infrequently, because I didn't want to get in trouble. I was a good kid, but I mean, maybe 2 or 3 times my entire senior year, I'd schedule an important committee meeting during class and have a pass sent by the office, an official pass, to each of my good friends to come and meet me in the leadership office. And we had no important material to discuss. That was my fondest memory. Being able to abuse a tiny little bit of power to hang out with my friends.
If you had to eat the same meal for a week, what would it be?
Speaking from experience, pepperoni pizza.
And what do you like most about your current job?
I get paid to talk to kids about books. It's a blast.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in the East Bay, San Ramon in Danville, of, middle affluent communities.
If you could witness one event from history, what would it be?
Oh, boy. The Green Revolution.
What is the most embarrassing moment you've ever had?
It's hard to say because I really try to cultivate a detachment from ego. I try not to be embarrassed by my blunders. That being said, so I mentioned I grew up in San Ramon and Danville, and there's a high school in Danville called Monte Vista High School, and it is spelled Monte, Vista. When I applied for this job here at Monte Vista High School with an A, Principal April Scott invited me to come in for an interview. I was delighted. I was so excited. I really wanted to work here. And I sat down in that interview, and the first thing she did was show me that I had spelled the name of the school wrong on my cover letter, and I was applying to be an English teacher. That was embarrassing. But I got the job, so hey.
What are your thoughts on climate change?
I'm against it. As I mentioned, the historical event that I hope I'm alive to see is the Green Revolution. I think it's I think climate change is an urgent crisis facing our planet, our species, and I don't think it's being treated by authority figures, by major polluters as such.
If you could have any superpower, what would that be?
I would like to be able to manipulate the flow of time.
What would be the title of a movie about yourself?
I can't believe I ate the whole thing. The Mark Carpenter story.
What would you do if you were the President of the United States?
One, not cross the CIA. Two, everything in my power to dissolve the presidency, as well as the Senate and the Supreme Court, which I believe are fundamentally undemocratic institutions.
If there was one question you could ask about the future, what would it be?
When is George R.R. Martin going to finish his Game of Thrones series?
Who is your biggest inspiration?
The teachers I work with, 100%. My collaborators in World Core, Miss Hilary Barron, my collaborators in Honors American Lit, Miss Vanessa Nava, Miss Hannah Gould, everyone on the Equity Task Force, everyone who's been doing amazing things during this pandemic, during this time of outrageous change and challenge at our school. They've been an inspiration to me and individuals whose example I hope to live up to in some way.
What is something that you can't do but wish you could?
Manage my time, hence my desire for a superpower to manipulate the time stream.
What is the first thing you do after work?
Generally go inside my house and get peppered with questions by my children. Today, it was, "Daddy, can I have a grilled cheese sandwich?" It's usually something along those lines. So I made grilled cheese sandwiches before our meeting.
What did you want to be in high school?
A college student.
And what is something you wish you knew as a 16-year-old?
Most of this stuff doesn't matter.
What's one bucket list item that you want to do?
Organize my garage.
What is your favorite word?
My students would be able to tell you this. In terms of what I overuse, but I would say my favorite word, ambiguous.
What do you do when you can't fall asleep?
Try to grade papers.
What was the last book you read?
Last book I finished. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
What is your favorite animal and why?
I feel a deep kinship to the noble possum.
What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years?
Watching my kids grow up and see the kind of people they turn into.
What book do you recommend to others?
White Noise by Zadie Smith. White Teeth by Zadie Smith, pardon me. White Noise by Don DeLillo, another book I recommend to others.
What is your favorite song?
My favorite song is the original demo version of I Found a Reason by the Velvet Underground, which turned up on a special edition of their album Loaded.
What is a common thing you think about when you're alone?
Grant Morrison's Batman comics.
What product would you stockpile if you found out that it wasn't going to be sold anymore?
Diet Coca-Cola.
And what was the last thing you purchased?
Birthday gift for my wife.
If you could meet any person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Thomas Pynchon, because he is a mysterious recluse and an incredible writer.
Out of the places you've visited, what is your favorite?
New Orleans, Louisiana.
And if you could change your name, what would you change it to?
I don't have any idea.
What would you do with $10 million?
Pay off my student loans.
What is your least favorite restaurant?
Shakey's Pizza in Hollywood, California.
Do you believe aliens exist?
I'm not sure I believe humans exist.
What are your biggest pet peeves?
Upwards.
What is your favorite holiday?
Halloween.
What is your favorite sports team?
To the extent that I can, I'm not going to give you a whole big speech. I like the Oakland A's.
What is your proudest moment as a teacher?
Oh, my proudest moment as a teacher. Every time I get an email from a student who's graduated, telling me what an amazing time they're having in college.
And if there was one thing that you could improve at Monte Vista, what would it be?
I'd say we're all working on a lot of things. Every day we're working to make that place better in a million different ways. I can't pick one. I'm just doing what I can to be a part of positive change.
If you were not a teacher, what would you be?
I'm a full-time stay-at-home parent.
What is the strangest thing that a student has ever asked you?
I think it was my second year of teaching, and I don't even remember the address. I had been living, my wife and I had been living in a duplex on Wolf Road in Sunnyvale, and I had a student walk into my classroom at the beginning of the day, and I said, "Hey, how was your weekend?" And he said, "Good. Did you have a nice weekend at 1482 Wolf Road in Sunnyvale?" Like, he just recited my address to me while locking eyes with me. That was strange.
If you had to get a tattoo, what would it be and why?
It would be the muted post horn symbol from Thomas Pynchon's The Crying of Lot 49 for the obvious reason.
And finally, what is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your life so far?
Usually, when I screw up, I'm the only one who notices. That's a lesson for everyone. It's not a big deal.